Welcome to the Bougie Baldie Podcast with your host, Kellie Rhymes.
Welcome back to the Bougie Baldie Podcast. Last week, I interviewed Jasmine McKoy, a cranial prosthesis specialist, and she shared information regarding how wigs can be covered under your medical insurance. Now, after our interview, I wanted to learn a little bit more, so I decided to do some research. And today, we will be diving deeper into the critical topic that can make a world of difference for many. If you are new to the podcast, hello, my name is Kellie, and I am a women's hair loss support and authenticity coach with scarring alopecia. I am here to empower my fellow women with hair loss by providing education, sharing personal experiences, and hair loss tips and tricks. Most importantly, I help women with hair loss navigate the emotional and mental challenges that they face when going through hair loss so that they can live a life full of authenticity and confidence. Whether you are facing hair loss from a medical condition like cancer or alopecia, or if you are supporting someone who is, understand the ins and outs of insurance coverage for these specialized wigs is vital. So let's do a quick review. What exactly is a cranial prosthesis? A cranial prosthesis is not just a regular wig. These are specialized medical grade wigs designed to provide comfort and style for those dealing with hair loss due to medical conditions or treatments. They are custom made to fit the unique shape of an individual's head, offering a secure and comfortable fit. They're made from high quality material, either synthetic or natural hair, but these wigs can look and feel like your real hair. They are designed for people experiencing significant hair loss, especially those undergoing chemotherapy, radiation treatments, or dealing with autoimmune disorders that causes sudden hair loss, such as some forms of alopecia. Not only do they offer cosmetic benefits, for some, they also play an essential role in restoring confidence and providing emotional support during these tough times. Let's explore which conditions typically qualify someone for insurance coverage of a cranial prosthesis. To get approved for cranial prosthesis, you'll need to have a medical diagnosis that leads to significant hair loss. Here are some common conditions that usually qualify. Chemotherapy and radiation. Many cancer patients experience hair loss as a side effect. A cranial prosthesis can help them feel more like themselves during their treatments. Alopecia areata. This is an autoimmune disorder that can cause sudden patches of hair loss. In addition, there are many other medical conditions that could cause hair loss, whether it's a scalp disorder, hormonal imbalances, malnutrition, or more. These can also potentially qualify for coverage. Understanding your diagnosis and how it relates to your insurance policy is very crucial, especially since several states in the United States now have laws requiring insurance coverage for cranial prosthesis, including Minnesota, New York, California, New Jersey, and Maryland. These laws acknowledge the medical necessity of these wigs and typically allow reimbursement for an annual medical wig with financial caps ranging between $350 and $750, depending on the state. Now that we have reviewed what a cranial prosthesis is and who qualifies, let's review the 5 essential steps you need to follow for reimbursement. Now, in my last episode, we focused on what it looks like to have a supplier bill the insurance company directly. Now, I want to take a moment and make sure we take time to break down the steps if your insurance company requires for you to pay out of pocket and be reimbursed. The first step is get a diagnosis. Schedule a visit with your healthcare provider. You will need a formal diagnosis and a prescription for a cranial prosthesis, which should include your doctor's identification number and signature. This is always going to be the first step, regardless of how the insurance company handles your payments. Next, you need to work with a supplier. Yes, a wig supplier or a cranial prosthesis supplier. Now, before making a purchase, contact the supplier to ensure that they can provide a medical invoice clearly stating it's for a cranial prosthesis. Now, this invoice is crucial and it must include the price and any customization fees. Some suppliers will bill directly to the insurance company, meaning you would not have to pay much out of pocket, if anything, except for your potential copay. Other suppliers will require you to pay for the cranial prosthesis upfront, and then you would have to submit a reimbursement claim form to your insurance company and wait to be reimbursed. Make sure you know the process of billing for a supplier before you select one. Next, you need to gather your necessary documents. If you are required to pay upfront for a cranial prosthesis and be reimbursed, it is important to collect the required documents. This typically could include the diagnosis letter, a prescription, a receipt for the wig or invoice, and the insurance claim form. Some insurers may request additional documentation like before and after photos of your hair loss. Next, you need to submit your claim. Once all the documents are ready, it's time to submit your claim. Now remember, use the term cranial prosthesis rather than simply wig to highlight the medical necessity. Otherwise, you could be denied. Finally, follow up. Insurance companies don't always stay on top of things all of the time, so make sure you follow up. After submitting your claim form and all of the documents, track your claim and reach out to your insurance company for updates. If there is a denial, remember you always have the right to an appeal. Your insurance company now may have a similar or a different process, so make sure you contact them and find out what their process is and required documents. If your claim gets denied, don't lose hope. You have the right to an appeal, and here's what you need to do to prepare. First, you need to find out why the claim was denied, and if you don't understand, reach out to your insurance company to explain and request an appeal. This is important because you need to know how to correct the issue that caused the claim to be denied. You would need the same documents mentioned earlier, which is the diagnosis letter, all your receipts related to your wig purchase. Ensure you have the insurance claim form filled out correctly, and be ready to provide any further documentation requested by your insurance, like those before and after pictures that I mentioned earlier. Review the reasons for your claim denial and see how you can provide stronger evidence in your appeal. Now, how do you find a reputable supplier for a cranial prosthesis? As mentioned by Jasmine in the last episode, you can check your insurance company's providers directory and find a cranial prosthesis supplier that has already been approved under your insurance. Here are some additional steps to help you navigate this process effectively. You could just do a search online. Just do a Google search and start by searching for suppliers that specifically offer a cranial prosthesis. Look for reviews and testimonials to assess the quality of their product and customer service. Another thing you can do is to seek out some recommendations from people, maybe a healthcare provider or people you know, because healthcare providers like dermatologists or oncologists can recommend trustworthy suppliers because they often have firsthand experience with patients' needs. Another one could be to contact the potential supplier directly. Do not hesitate to ask questions about their experience with cranial prosthesis, the material available, and customization options. A consultation can also help you assess their professionalism. In addition, you can attend events such as trade shows or healthcare and wellness conferences because they are excellent opportunities to meet suppliers and learn more about the products that they have to offer. Finally, you can utilize specialized resources such as websites like the Wig Medical, which can provide a vendor list and additional resources to guide you through the world of medical wigs. I found a few reputable suppliers known for their cranial prostheses. One would be Jasmine McKoy's company, which we just talked about last week, and that's JMD Solutions. Another is Head Covers Unlimited, the Crown Group, and there's another company actually called Cranial Prosthetics. There you go. There are a few companies that you can just go take a look at, but there are many, many more. Also, the Alopecia Areata Foundation provides resources and connects patients with providers for custom cranial prosthetics. I will put the names and the websites for these suppliers in the description of this episode. So if you do not remember or did not write it down, make sure you check the description. Before you decide on a supplier, here are 7 things that you can do to verify their credentials. One would be to just look for memberships. Suppliers who belong to an organization such as the American Hair Loss Council or the International Society of Hair Restoration Surgery typically demonstrate a strong commitment to industry standards. 2 is certified programs. Make sure that they hold a certification focused on cranial prosthetics or hair loss management, which indicates relevant training. 3, insurance affiliations. Confirm that the supplier works with your insurance provider to streamline the reimbursement process. 4 would be ongoing education. If they engage in continuing education, it shows that they are keeping up with the latest trends and regulations in the field. 5 is patient reviews. Explore online reviews for insights into patients' experiences regarding product quality and customer service, as I mentioned before. 6, regulatory compliance. Ensure that the provider adheres to the state and federal regulations that have been set. And finally, 7, accredited vendors. Check if they are affiliated with recognized accredited organizations to ensure a high standard of care. Well, that wraps up the discussion on getting your cranial prosthesis covered by your insurance. I hope this deep dive was beneficial for you and helpful, okay? If you are facing hair loss, know that you are not alone and there is support available. So make sure you reach out and get the support that you need. Remember, navigating this process can feel overwhelming, but with the right knowledge and tools, you can do it with confidence. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Bougie Baldie Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe or follow for more episodes that empower and inform. From my heart to yours, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye. Are you a woman struggling with hair loss, feeling unattractive and insecure? At Limitless Mindset Coaching, we understand the emotional toll that hair loss can take. But in just 90 days, we will help you transform from feeling lost and embarrassed to radiating confidence and joy. Imagine building your self-esteem, discovering perfect camouflage techniques to cover up your hair loss, receiving tips and tricks that can help with your hair loss, and embracing the new you while connecting with a supportive community of women just like you. Say goodbye to those negative emotions and hello to a positive mindset. Picture vibrant new relationships, walking into the room with your head high, participating in social events and activities again, and living a life filled with happiness. Ready to take that first step? Just visit www.limitlessmindsetcoach.com or click the link in the description today, and let's embark on this empowering journey together.
Thank you for watching the Bougie Baldie Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe